Seiko just dropped some really cool watch models. On top of that, we have new releases from Tudor, from Breitling, and from Fairer, among many others. My name is Oleg, that right there is Mr. Bond, and this is a weekly YouTube show where we talk about the latest watches being released. Now, let's talk about the new Tudor Black Bay 54 Lagoon Blue Edition. Tudor Black Bay 54 came out in 2023 and is the smallest diver watch that Tudor offers. It's about 37 millimeters in diameter and it appeals to both men and women. Now for 2025, Tudor is keeping up with their fun dialed watches and we got this Lagoon Blue Edition. Right off the bat, I'm a big fan of how this watch looks. In fact, I wish they released this one in the Black Bay 58 case, the 39 millimeter case. I think this watch looks amazing. It comes with an all polished stainless steel bezel, which looks very interesting in a combination with this sand textured Lagoon Blue dial. The watch also comes on their 5-link Jubilee style bracelet, which really fits with the overall aesthetic that they're going for. I am a big fan of this one. Now, one of the reasons why this watch is so thin is because of the movement, the caliber MT5400, which is a high beat movement beating at 4 Hz. It comes with 27 joules and 70 hours of power reserve. In terms of pricing and availability, this is not a limited edition. This will be part of the standard catalog, and this watch is priced at 4,250 euro. Next, let's talk about the new Seiko Presage Classic Series Urushi dial, reference SPB 499. Just last week, I was talking about Presage and how Seiko gave us one of the coolest watches in a while. Well, this week there is a new Seiko release that, in my opinion, looks even better, but it does have some negatives. The name Urushi refers to the Urushi lacquer on a dial. This is the type of lacquer that can be found in Asian countries of Japan, China, and Korea. And lacquering these dials is a very labor-intensive process. You have to apply it several times, and of course make sure that the application is perfect because any imperfection will show right away. On top of the lacquer dial, I'm also a big fan of this set of hands. They have this sort of sparkle-like finish that looks really sharp, and the gilt accents in combination with that stark black dial does look very cool. In terms of the case dimensions, this watch comes in exactly the same case as last week's release. 40.2 millimeter case diameter by about 12.5 millimeter case height. It features 100 meters of water resistance and it is powered by the caliber 6R5H automatic movement that beats at 3 Hz and it comes with 72 hours of power reserve, and this one does feature a sapphire sandwich so you can admire the movement. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm not a huge fan of with this watch. First of all, the sizing. I think it could be smaller. 38 millimeters would make a lot more sense. 40.5, it's okay, but for a dress watch, it's a bit on the bigger side. The second thing, I think the dial is just a little bit too busy. First of all, you have these 3 days written there by the 12 o'clock position. Really doesn't need that, just get rid of that altogether. And secondly, the 24-hour indicator subdial by the 6 o'clock position. Once again, a bit of a redundant feature, especially on a dress watch. I would get rid of that. Or if Seiko wants to keep that function, then make that into a GMT function. That would make a lot of sense. Having sort of a 24-hour indicator, in my opinion, is a bit useless. Next, let's talk about the new Seiko Prospex Diver PADI Special Editions, reference SPB 501 and SRL 51. Over the years, we got so many different PADI special editions in pretty much every diver watch that Seiko makes. Now we have 2 different versions, one in the SPB case, the other one in the Samurai case. So first, let's talk about this SPB case. So this watch features 300 meters of water resistance. It comes in a 40 millimeter case, 13 millimeter case height, and a 46 millimeter lug-to-lug distance. It is powered by the caliber 6R55 in-house automatic movement that beats at 3 Hz and it features 72 hours of power reserve. And this one does feature a domed sapphire crystal. Now, the thing that makes this watch different from the standard SPB watches and other special editions is first of all the PADI logo by the 6 o'clock position. Secondly, of course, the colorway. I am a big fan of how this watch looks, especially the dial. It kind of looks like emerald, deep green water. Big fan of how that looks, and in combination with this green steel bezel, I think that looks very sharp. Now, this will not be a limited edition. It's part of the standard catalog, and this watch is priced at 1,700 euro. And besides this watch, we also got the PADI Samurai Special Edition. This watch comes in an updated Samurai case, 41.7mm case diameter, 12.3mm case height, and about 49.5mm like-to-like distance. So the cases of these samurai watches did shrink. I think they released it last year, this new dimension. In terms of the water resistance, this one features 200 meters instead of 300 meters on the SPB model, and this one is powered by a lower caliber movement, the 4R35, which beats at 3 Hz, and it comes with 41 hours of power reserve. Also, this watch doesn't feature a sapphire crystal, it still comes with a hard lex. Although the pricing of it reflects sort of lower specs, this one is priced at 670 euro. And there's actually another release in the Samurai collection, reference SRPL 53. Now, just like the PADI special edition, this watch now comes in the new updated case, the new dimensions. So it's the same dimensions, 41.7mm diameter, 12.3mm case height, and a 49.5mm like-to-like distance. It is powered by the same movement, the caliber 4R35, and it still comes with the same specs on the same bracelet with a hardlex crystal. What's different about this watch is, of course, the new colorway. Big fan of the colors chosen for this watch here. In fact, I think Seiko really nailed it with pretty much all of their releases this week. I think it looks very sharp. Even the date window at the 4:30 doesn't really bother me too much. I think the integration is pretty good. Would I prefer the date window at the 6 or the 3? Yes, I would. But we have what we have, so here I think it works better than a lot of other editions. And as far as the pricing and availability, this will not be a limited edition, it's part of the standard catalog, and this watch is priced at 650 euro. And there's actually a couple more Seiko models this week, Seiko 5 Sports SRPL 91 and SRPL 93. Remember that line "failure is not an option," spoken by Ed Harris in Apollo 13 movie from 1995? Well, Ed Harris actually plays a chief flight director for NASA named Gene Kranz, and in real life, Gene wore a Seiko 5 reference 6119-8460 that has been a collector's favorite for many years. Over the years, these watches did climb up in value because they are so desirable. Well, this year for 2025, Seiko is releasing two watches that are sort of an homage to this iconic model. The two models are essentially identical except for different dial versions. There's the white dial and the black dial version. Out of the two, surprisingly, I actually prefer the white dial version, and usually I would go for black dials. I think on this watch it really works. It also features a stainless steel bezel insert, a day-date complication because this watch is powered by the caliber 4R36 automatic movement that beats at 3 Hz, and it comes with 41 hours of power reserve. And as far as the dimensions go, I think it's very reasonable. 38.2mm diameter, 44.5mm like-to-like distance, and these watches are around 12.3mm in case height. Because this is a Seiko 5 and Seiko 5 is the introductory level Seiko, it doesn't come with a sapphire crystal. This one features a domed hardlex crystal, and this will be a limited edition to 9,999 pieces for each version, so a very large limited edition. These watches are priced at 460 euro. I think a pretty good price for a watch that's this desirable, and I think this model will be fairly popular. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some racing inspired watches. Pun intended. I'm talking about the new 2025 Frederique Constant Classic Vintage Rally Healey collection. Frederique Constant and Austin Healey have been partners since 2004, and over the years they gave us quite a few of these special edition watches. We're getting one every 2 to 3 years. This year we actually got 3 models. First of all, there's this new Classic Vintage Rally Healey Automatic 40mm. So this one follows the 2023 edition with a few updates and I think improved looks. As far as the case dimensions go, this one is made out of stainless steel. It features a 40mm diameter, a 10mm case height. It comes with 50 meters of water resistance and is powered by the caliber FC301 movement, which is essentially a Valjoux Paray G100. It beats at 4 Hz and it comes with 38 hours of power reserve. And of course the dial heavily features this British racing green, which looks very sharp. For whatever reason, I am a big fan of how this watch looks. Now, this will not be a limited edition, and this watch is priced at €1,700. Next, we have the classic vintage rally Healey automatic 36mm version. So this version is a very similar watch, now featuring a date complication at the 6 o'clock position. So it is powered by a different movement, a Sellita based movement, caliber FC303, which beats at 4 Hz, and it comes with 38 hours of power reserve. This watch also features a smaller case, 36mm diameter by about 9.9mm case height. It still comes with 50 meters of water resistance, and this one is limited to 1,888 pieces. This model is priced at €1,500, so slightly less. And finally, there's the Healey chronograph. This watch is the largest out of the bunch, 42mm diameter, 14.5mm case height, but that's because this is an automatic chronograph movement powered by the FC397 caliber movement, which is a Valjoux based caliber that beats at 4 Hz, and it comes with 48 hours of power reserve. This will also be a limited edition to 1,888 pieces, and this model is priced at €3,400. Next, let's talk about Breitling and the updated SuperOcean Heritage Collection. Lately, Breitling has been on a bit of a roll, and I think this update to the SuperOcean Heritage Collection is just another example of that. So besides having a new updated movement, the caliber B31, this collection also features slightly updated specs and better case sizes. So the whole collection got updated, including the 44mm SuperOcean Heritage Diver. So now it comes in a 44mm version instead of the 46mm version on the previous model. It also comes in a 12.2mm case height. Prior to this update, the watches were over 14mm in case height. So this is a very welcomed update, and largely due to that caliber B31, which is a COSC certified movement that beats at 4 Hz, and it comes with 72 hours of power reserve. From my understanding, it's a partnership between Breitling and Sellita. So Sellita has a special department within Sellita's factory that only works on these movements. Besides the new sizing and the caliber, the other change is the updated bezels. So now, instead of having metal bezel inserts, now all models come with ceramic bezel inserts. Finally, Breitling, welcome to 2025. Next, we got a similar update to the 42mm version. Now it is 49.5mm lug-to-lug distance instead of the 52mm lug-to-lug distance. Also, the case height shrunk from 13.3mm on the previous version to only 12mm on this version, and it comes with the display caseback. There are a few different dial variations and bezel variations available. All of them are ceramic, as I mentioned, and all of them feature the B31 updated movement. There has also been an update to the 40mm version. Now this one is 48.2mm lug-to-lug distance and 11.7mm in case height. This should wear really well on majority of wrists. I also like the color combinations on this model, including this new limited edition in blue with flower-like design on a dial. So this will be a limited edition to only 500 pieces, and it is more expensive at €6,500 on the rubber strap or €6,750 on a mesh bracelet, as opposed to €61 to €6,400 on the standard edition. So you do have to pay a premium for the special dial and the limited edition factor of this watch. Lastly, the chronograph also got updated. It now comes in a 42mm case as opposed to 44mm case, and the case height was shrunken slightly. Now it is 14.5mm instead of over 15 on the previous version. It is powered by the caliber Breitling B01, which is an automatic chronograph movement that beats at 4 Hz, and it comes with 70 hours of power reserve. And this one, just like the rest of the range, also features a ceramic bezel insert. I think these changes are great. This is exactly what Breitling should be doing, sticking to the classic designs, just giving us more modern feel to the watch and giving us modern materials. Next, let's talk about the new Fair Aqua Compressor collection. Fair is a watch company from Great Britain. They started in 2015, I believe, and in 2017 they introduced the Aqua Compressor collection, which was quite popular. However, by today's standards, the collection does look pretty outdated. Well, now for 2025, we have this new updated version that looks, in my opinion, very sharp. There are 3 different models, one with the black dial, one with the white dial and a PVD coated case, and one with the green dial. That's actually my favorite version. All 3 versions come in the same case dimensions. The cases are made out of titanium. They feature a 41mm case diameter, 12.5mm case height, and a 45mm lug-to-lug distance. They all feature 300 meters of water resistance, and all of them are powered by the same movement, the Lagoon G101, which is an update from the Celita movements on the previous version. The Lagoon is a high beat movement beating at 4 Hz, and it comes with 68 hours of power reserve. Also, from my understanding, this is the higher end version of the movement, so it comes with higher end finishes. In terms of the pricing and availability, all watches will be part of the standard collection. The non-PVD coated versions, the black one and the green one, are 1,375 euro. The PVD version is slightly more expensive, 50 euro more, for 1,425 euro price. And that's it for this week's watch releases. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos like this in the future, and let me know what watch releases stood out to you. I always enjoy reading your comments. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I just realized I forgot to do a wristwatch check. I know you guys always yell at me for not doing it. I'm wearing the Nomos World Timer. I just did a review of this watch. I will leave a link to the review in the description below. Okay, bye.